Good evening. We are November 11th, Veterans Day. So before we even go any further, let's give a big hand for all our veterans out there that we appreciate. You guys do a phenomenal job, past, present, and future. I can't thank all you guys enough, and we know a bunch of guys, military, both ladies and gentlemen, that have been there. So let's thank them and dedicate this show to all of them. They wear the heavy belt, in all that they do for us to make our lives so much better. So this show's for all you guys and gals. We appreciate you, and we will continue to support all that you do for us. So tonight's show is our veterans edition, and moving forward, I'm going to hand it off to John. You got some work to take care of with who wore it best, and then fantasy football, right? So
yes,
we're gonna take care of that, and then we're gonna dig into some minor league baseball talk with Anthony Pignetti from the Fight. And so we'll dig into that shortly. But John, go ahead, take it away.
Well, we had a very good week again. Number 37, Eric Desjardins was our winner. He beat out Tom Whittleshek and Ryan Sandberg. And so well deserved by Eric Desjardins. And this week we have another good matchup. A little heavy-handed on one side, I believe. But for the Phillies, we have that Curt Schilling. He played from 1992 to 2000 with the Phillies. Six-time All-Star, a three-time World Series champion, the NLCS MVP in 93, part of the 93 National League champions of the Phillies. He's a two-time National League strikeout leader and part of the Phillies Wall of Fame. For the Eagles, we have Cecil Martin. He played from 1999 to 2002. He came from the University of Wisconsin, the sixth rounder and the 172nd pick of the draft pick that year. For the Flyers, we have Frank Bath. 6 years he played here, 198 games. Big time scorer. He scored 3 goals and 24 assists. He had a plus minus of a positive 28. For the outsiders, we have Brian Wilson, known more so for his beard, and with the Giants in 2010 World Series champion, three-time All-Star, led the league in the saves in 2010, and part of the Giants Wall of Fame. And of course, this week we didn't have any Sixers representatives because nobody wore number 38 for the Sixers this week. So we'll start it off. With Anthony. Who do you have?
Oof. I guess Curt Schilling by default. I try not to go with Curt Schilling for any vote for anything ever, but I guess I guess Curt Schilling.
Yeah. He actually, somebody, the viewers had to throw him in there he actually technically won the outsider view vote, but we had to go with Brian Wilson since he was for the Phillies guy. But that was I think it's pretty good choice. Carl, who do you have?
I'll go with Brian Wilson only if it's the Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys.
We can change that.
Wow, what a group! What a group! Did Schilling get a lot of outsider because of the bloody sock and I guess his time in Arizona and where else?
Yeah, in Arizona and Boston. Yeah, that's what that got him a little bit of votes, and I guess too, they always got to throw the Phillies guys in there. Kyle Kendrick got a vote for the outsider as well. I guess they don't realize we're doing the outsider and we have our individuals for the other teams as well. But some of them are still learning.
It's just one of those. It's one of those numbers where it's just it's just a rough week for some of those numbers. But
yeah, in all sports too.
Yeah.
The Eagles got Cecil Martin. That was
Right.
So,
yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm going by default, Kurt Schilling.
Mm-hmm.
Not going Frank Bath, the Flyers guy, going staying Flyers.
No, no.
Am I even saying that right? Bathe.
I think it's Frank Bath, but that's okay. He was supposed to come to the store and no show. So
Oh boy.
Enough said.
yeah. So yeah, he was. Yeah. Brian Brown. I'd rather vote for Larry Christensen or even Pat Combs for the Phillies. So I guess he's not a Kurt Schilling fan.
I guess not. You could always throw him in there as a write-in.
LC would be good. LC would have been a good candidate, but I guess he didn't make the cut, right?
No, he ended up finishing third. He had 51 votes behind Rick Wise, came in second with 79.
Right, right.
Schilling had 391, so he had a great grand majority of the votes there. But it happens. Myself, I'm going to go with Kurt Schilling as well. Love him or hate him, he pitched well while he was here for the Phillies there in '93. Even though I should have had the towel over my head. I should have probably opened up with that.
I know, right?
But
that would have been.
Other than that, he when he pitched on the field for every fifth day, he was great, and off the field he was a little issue. But yeah, that's who I would go with.
Lauren said she's voting for Kurt Schilling. She's just waiting for her pork chop.
I was going to wait for that one to come in.
Of all the votes where it's going to come down to the wire, we got to make sure we get that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That last Kurt Schilling vote in just in case.
Exactly. So who does Sue have behind you?
Sue, who do you like?
Well, the only person I've heard of is Kurt Schilling, so I'll go with him.
There you go.
Only get scared.
I agree with that.
That works. So we got a clean sweep of Kurt Schilling for number 38 for us.
I'm still shocked that nobody, not even a spring game, preseason game, wore number 38 for the Sixers.
Yeah, I know.
You sure
It's true.
Charles Barkley didn't wear that in a parade or something?
He could have.
That's terrible.
Mm.
That's
Dear.
terrible. That's terrible.
Like Charles would say.
What's that?
It's like Charles would say. That's terrible.
Crazy. Hey, speaking about the Sixers, what do we think about these new uniforms?
I
I
like
don't know. I'm still not sure about them. I don't like to put the TTP put in there on Boathouse Row. Trust the process really hasn't worked out too well for us. To put that out there on your jersey, I don't kind of like that. But
Besides,
On purpose?
yeah. I mean, besides that, I kind of like it. It reminds me of not quite, but it reminds me of the old Seattle SuperSonics back in the day with the skyline and all that. The trust the process, you could probably do without it, but you really have to point that out specifically because most people probably miss it anyway. I mean, on a positive note, they're probably going to wear it 6 times next year, so it's not the end of the
Right.
world.
right.
Just to sell some merchandise. But I thought it was a pretty cool alternate jersey. It could have been a little better. They could have made it a little better, but it's not horrendous.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah, like I said, I think it'll
You
grow
want
on.
to grab that call because it might be some good insider information, for
It's Adam Briscoe. So unless he knows some it's insider stuff, I'm gonna let that one go.
all right.
But I imagine at the store, I'm going to tell you're going to see all these young kids with that black jersey on in the store.
Oh, no doubt.
Looking for basketball cards. I mean, 100%.
Oh yeah, no, and the black jersey was
That's what
nice,
they're trying to do.
right?
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah.
It's all marketing.
Absolutely, and plus Ben Simmons was part of the design of it, so that helps hopefully sell some more since Ben designed it. Hopefully that means he's going to be here.
And Ben knows about Boathouse Row. Has he ever been there?
I don't know. He's from Australia, so maybe I don't know.
Has he ever been? Has he ever taken a drive down Kelly Drive?
I don't know. Not sure if he did or not.
It's a different look, but like Anthony said, that's Seattle Supersonics, right? Reincarnated with
them and Denver Nuggets.
Denver did it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you don't like it, it's only a few games. It's not like they're going to wear it every day. I mean, this brought up, they showed some of the other jerseys the Sixers have wore in the past. I mean, that Sean Bradley red jersey from back in the day. I mean, it's not like that. I mean,
Right.
It's not that bad. It's all right as an alternate. There's, some of these teams that are putting out their alternate look way worse than the Sixers alternate looks. I mean, some of them are pretty rough.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I said, it could definitely be worse.
I hope we can get this hour in because I think this storm is playing havoc with our audio. I'm getting a lot of static background, but I don't know how you guys are hearing things, but
I think it just left here, so it must be headed down there.
yeah, it's pouring. It's pouring out here, but yeah. So I guess the Sixers they got their whole coaching staff in place, and I guess they're ready to rock and roll. And we're going to see what the new VP of operations is going to do. There's rumor that James Harden has asked to be traded or will ask to be traded.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you guys think about Harden? Sue doesn't like him.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of mixed emotions. Everybody keeps saying that he's going to be a perfect fit here, and then others say he's going to be a terrible fit here. But I do think he's going to, potentially be here, or at least the new president of operations is connected with him. So then he may be a guy that's going to go after him. It's just a matter if they can hopefully use some of their draft picks that they have maybe and go. I mean, obviously you got to match salaries in basketball, so that's going to help hurt things a little bit. But maybe you can sweeten it with some draft picks since they've used up a lot of their draft picks out there in Houston down there. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I mean, it'll give you three good scores, and it'll give you the score at the end of the game to close it out, hopefully. But
I guess my thought is to give everyone a chance until there's a reason not to. If he comes here and he's a pain in the butt and all that stuff is one thing, but let's let him get here first and give us a reason not to like him before we get there. I mean, I think just looking at it, I think he'd be a good fit. He's a veteran guy who's been around a bit that knows what he's doing, and I guess my biggest just question is with this new regime where are the Sixers right now? They're not in a rebuild. They have the same people, but are they ready to win right now? Like, are they ready for that? I don't know where the Sixers are today. The playoffs, they look bad. Are they ready to win? They think if they get Harden, they'll win right away. I'm unsure what the Sixers got going on right now.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. And then are they going to be are you going to have to give up either Ben or Embiid to get Harden here?
Would you, John? Would you be willing to get rid of one of them or the other for Harden?
I don't know. It's a tough call because you got he's 31 years old compared to they're younger. You're giving up some years in there, and I guess if you had to do anybody, you'd have to probably give up Ben Simmons, probably. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be tough.
Right.
If we could give up like a Horford and some a bunch of draft picks or that kind of thing, then I would be able to be more willing to do it. Maybe a Tobias Harris instead as well, but just to make money work.
That's the problem with those guys. If someone stepped up in the playoffs, if Horford had a bad year, but he stepped up in the playoffs and was off the charts, you at least have some upside for him.
Right.
But who the heck is going to get Al Horford right now? No one. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what they think they might be able to win now if they get Harden. I'm not quite sold on that, to be honest with you. I don't know. So
No, I agree.
All I know is every time I check a box score, he puts up 50 points. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Well, I mean, no, he's going to score, but then it's going to take away because he's got the ball in his hand. It's going to take away Embiid's time and Simmons' time.
Is that a bad thing right now?
Well, it's just a matter of if they're all going to be able to play together. I guess is really what it's going to come down to. Kind of like how the Buccaneers, they added Antonio Brown. You thought it was going to be great, and they looked worst. They looked worst on Monday night or whatever it was. This past week against the Saints. So, you just got to get everybody to mesh together.
Which one of those players do you think most teams would be interested? I mean, is that how Joel is? Is he just a softer guy? He's never going to get stronger in that aspect, or is Simmons one day is he going to score 50 points? I mean, that's what you have to choose, and I don't know that I know either of those answers.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem because both of them could be, the top 2 or 3 in the league if they, achieve their goals. But they could also not get that far, and then
Right.
So yeah, it's tough.
Right.
With young talented players.
Joe Stinger's worried about his defense. Does anybody play defense in the NBA?
Yeah, that's true.
The ones that play it the last 5 minutes are ones that usually win, and the Sixers don't play at all. So.
Hey, I just think there's a heck of a connection with him and the new regime. So anything's possible at this point.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And
I mean,
I'll tell you,
he plays better defense than most people think he does.
and when things get back to normal, I think he's going to sell you a lot of tickets. And I think most kids in Philadelphia have a Harden jersey. So from a marketing perspective, it's great. I would think that the Sixers might want, from that aspect, not from winning a championship, you might want to get rid of a Simmons and have Embiid. I feel like in marketing aspects, you can market Embiid a little bit better, but I don't know that that's going to – I don't know if the two of them will give you a championship alone. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with the Sixers. Sometimes I think they're going to be all right, and then other times I said I'm not quite sure about that.
Well, that's Philly. Right. That's Philly sports all wrapped up, right? You could say that about all the teams.
Yeah, at this point, you really can.
For sure.
Well, I mean, just what a year and a half ago, you're going to battle with Toronto. You know what I mean? You lose on that, horrible shot on the rim. You know what I mean? And you thought the future was bright. You bring in Horford and you give Tobias that big fat contract, and everything seemed to just blow up from there. Do you leave the team in place and give Doc a shot with these guys and try to put everything out on the floor? Maybe Horford and Embiid can play together under Doc's system. You know? I mean, he was brought to Philly for a reason, right? Isn't that why he was brought here, for them to play together?
No, exactly. I think you got to give him at least a year anyway, to play. Not myself, but.
All right. Well, I mean, we dug in deep on Sixer basketball. It's probably the most we've done about Sixer basketball all year.
That's true.
I mean, if you could have said, as soon as they lost the playoff game, if you said, hey, you could have Doc Rivers and James Harden, I bet you most fans would sign up for that. So, if that can happen, I feel a little bit better than doing nothing going into the offseason. At least they made some moves. Not everyone's making those moves, as I'm sure we'll talk about, but at least the Sixers seem to be trying, which, not everyone's trying at this point.
No, true. I think Carl's trying to talk the Sixers up so that you get away from the Eagles talk.
Hey, it was a bye week, baby. I saw what the rest of the division did.
That's right.
I saw. Hey, what are the Cowboys? They're on quarterback number 4 now.
Yeah.
Right. Next thing
supposed to be going back to Dalton this week.
Giants will want Eli Manning back. What'd you do to the screen, John? I lost. You went full screen on me. Did you change things up?
I did not.
No.
No, but the Wi-Fi here is jumping here. So I mean, mine's looking good right at the moment, but unless mine hasn't changed, but the Wi-Fi you can see it going up and down. So
yeah, I lost my my comments and part of the page.
Oh,
Everyone, I mean, from our perspective, we can see all the comments and we can hear everyone clear. So it must just be a storm thing, but everything looks good on our end.
right.
Yeah, Stephanie just checked in from Cali, so she said we're clear on that end, so that's good enough for me. So,
Exactly.
If we got Connor's mom checking in and everything's good, then hey, John, you brought it up, so I'll give you a couple minutes to get it off your chest.
Talk about the Eagles now?
I'll give you a couple minutes to get it off your chest.
Well, let's hope the second half here we turn things around. We get a little bit more. The schedule's not going to be tough or that easy after this week with the Giants, but hopefully we can use that bye week last week, got everybody healthy a little bit more. We can see listening to Doug's press conference today. He said he can run the ball a little bit more. Carson says he can make less mistakes. So hopefully that's all positive stuff. We're getting, Miles Sanders hopefully back either this week or next week, and Lane Johnson the same thing. So hopefully, we'll have our guys back. And I'm not sure if Alshon Jeffrey coming back is going to be a good thing or a bad thing this week. I kind of like having him where he's at right at the moment. Travis Fulgham and Greg Ward, and give those guys a little bit more time to grow.
So let me ask you. You got 8 games left. Can they win 5? Can they win 5 of the 8?
Well, that's going to be tough. I obviously the three division games with the Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys. There, I think we should hopefully be able to win those games. We're going to at least put them in our win column for right now. The two games out of that 5-game stretch that we possibly could win, being the Cleveland Browns and the Arizona Cardinals. If you looked at it just with not where they were playing, as far as games that we could possibly win, unfortunately, both of those games are on the road, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get us to that 5-game stretch. Like I said, we don't need to get to 5. We win those 3 divisional games and finish 6-9-1. We're fine. As far as
I just like the sound of it. That's all. I like the sound of it. That means you run into the playoffs. On a positive note. Carson. Can Carson play any worse than what he's been? Where he's been. I mean, I forget the guy's name. I believe he plays for New England, and he called him a scrub. They're brothers that play in New England. Help me out.
the McCourty brothers.
There you go. One of them called Carson a scrub. Nothing more than a scrub. I guess he was on ESPN radio and
Well, like we said, he struggled this year. He's definitely struggling this year. We can all kind of figure out if it's him, if it's coaching, if it's the lack of the talent. There's a lot of things that you can focus on. Let's hope that he turns it around. I mean, I don't know. Do you think now with the bye coming out that we see a little bit more Jalen Hurts?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it appears that they got 2 or 3 plays per game, where he sees the field.
Right.
I don't see that as a game changer. That's just my opinion. And I compare him to Hill with the Saints, and I see what they're doing, getting a breeze off the field, and I see what he did the other night against a pretty good defense. I don't know if he has that same running ability, but it changes things up. The bottom line is the Birds need to get healthy. They need to get healthy. They need to get their starters back on the field. And that's pretty much, if they don't get healthy, if they don't get Miles Sanders back running the ball, you could say what you want about Boston Scott. He's a nice backup player, but he's not a premier running back.
Right.
But I want to throw this because we're right up against where we decided we needed to go tonight with some minor league baseball talk. And I want to turn it over to Anthony because he's our resident expert on where minor league baseball is, because there's been a lot in the news lately. And if we have time, John, we'll get back to the Eagles. I promise you.
It's all right. We got a little fantasy football to talk as well.
I don't want you getting upset and not thinking we don't want to talk about your Birds, because I know you're a big fan. So
of course, you all are.
Anthony, give us the lowdown. I know you got some scoop.
I mean, if you had to say what the state of everything is today, I mean, today I would say it's an absolute mess. To be nice, teams so far haven't been really contacted for the most part. Major League Baseball wants to make one big announcement that announces everything at once. So you've probably seen in the news about some of the Yankees affiliates and some of the Mets affiliates, and maybe the Yankees or the Mets weren't supposed to say anything. I mean, yesterday the Yankees had a press conference in Somerset, which had always been an independent league team that you're supposed to sort of stay away from. And yesterday they had, Willie Randolph and Joe Torre and John Sterling, all the big hitters, Reggie Jackson, everyone in Somerset for a press conference, which is nice if you're Somerset, but that's not very nice if you're Trenton that found out, a day or two before. The Staten Island Yankees, who were the Yankees New York Penn League team, found out from a tweet that says, congratulations to, Hudson Valley, their new affiliate, which used to be Tampa Bay. So right now, Major League Baseball is probably not happy with the Mets and the Yankees for saying who their affiliates are. But in defense of those affiliates, they've had no communication. And the only thing they have heard is via social media that their team is no longer there. And I'm not singling out the Yankees and the Mets. I mean, the Minnesota Twins just did the same thing in Rochester. Rochester, AAA market, they've been there for 18 years. There's always been rumblings of them being an affiliate with the St. Paul Saints, which makes sense because it's right outside of Minneapolis. But, St. Paul Saints are not an affiliated baseball team. There's rules for certain levels. AAA, you have 10,000 seats. St. Paul only has 7,800 seats. To move from a certain level up to AAA, you got to pay like $20 million, whatever it is. Major League Baseball and the Twins want them so bad that they might figure out a way that the $20 million gets paid because they want St. Paul. I mean, it's like the wild west right now, and it's really not fair. Because of coronavirus, because of everything else, it sort of sped up this process for Major League Baseball. But also because of the coronavirus, a lot of stuff is going under the radar. everyone watching this has probably heard something, but 99% of America has no idea that this is happening, and it's going to go under the radar and probably go away. But that's 40 teams minimum, 40 staff that make their living this way, 40 people, 40 staff that had not much of a preparation to get ready for it, because right now you're theoretically getting ready for a baseball season, but which Trenton was for next year, and then 2 days later they find out that their team is gone. So it's just not a nice situation, and I just feel bad for everyone. I really do. It's not nice. I mean, with the Phillies, theoretically we're in a fortunate spot where the Phillies have a portion of our ownership, which a lot of those teams, are theoretically safe, because why would you want to get rid of a team that you own? But that's not necessarily the case for everyone. I mean, I could see something happening where maybe that won't always be the case. Say you own portions of Rochester. If you really want to be in St. Paul because it's 5 minutes away, maybe you say, okay, I get rid of ownership in one of these teams. It's just insane right now. I'm hoping by the end of this month they put out a press release, rip the Band-Aid off, say what's going to happen, let us get ready for next year. But right now it's just an absolute free-for-all. And every team's sort of on their own because they haven't had communication. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So the only teams we know for sure are the Yankees. So they're going to keep Scranton. Somerset will be AA, which used to be independent. And they're going to lose Charleston. They'll get Hudson Valley, which was a New York Penn League team. So Hudson Valley and the New York Penn League will move up to full season single A baseball, and the Staten Island Yankees will go away. For the Mets, they'll keep Syracuse. Binghamton will make the cut. Brooklyn will go from New York Penn League up to single A, and then they'll keep their team in Florida. Every time a team does that, you have to understand there's other teams that get screwed, for lack of better words, that their staff just finds out. And they're like, okay, I guess we're not getting ready for next year. I got to find a job now. I got to sell my house now, that sort of stuff. So it's just a very uncertain time for a lot of people.
Right.
Those are the only two real organizations we know for sure, just because they've come out and said it. But now that Major League Baseball today has said, please stop continuing to come out and say things, I'm sure it'll be quiet for a while. And then I would imagine, right in time for Christmas, they'll make a big announcement. Merry Christmas to everybody, sort of thing. So it's just it's a crazy time. But yeah, the Appalachian League, which is rookie ball, and New York Penn League, which is rookie ball, all those teams will be gone, other than Brooklyn, which has the highest attendance, and Hudson Valley, which has the second highest attendance. But all the other teams go away. I saw Brian's comment in here about Trenton. I feel really bad for Trenton, probably more than any other team. We're in corporate meetings and sales meetings with my version and all those teams, and the Eastern League does that and gets all together. And the general manager in Trenton was just in a week and a half ago, was just in a corporate Zoom with me about what sponsorships and stuff like that. He had no idea this was happening. And he literally had. I believe them when they say that. I don't think he had any idea it was happening. The problem with Trenton is with the new potential rules. I don't want to say they're out of luck, but they might be out of luck. I mean, so Somerset comes in, they're the AA affiliate. But the new rule, theoretically, potentially, might say you have to be 50 miles away. You can't have a team 50 miles away. Well, Trenton is 50 miles away from Somerset. So not only is Trenton losing their team, but they might not even be able to get an affiliated team because they're too close. So, you might get an independent team, maybe, if Major League Baseball allows it. Maybe because they feel bad and they allow it. But the problem with the independent league team is you have to pay for all those fees. You have to pay for the buses and the transportation and the bats and the cleats. And you're really cutting into your profit margin. Plus, to ask people to go, hey, you used to watch the AA Yankees. Now you got a couple college kids. It's tough. And that's just a local one for us. This is going to happen in California and Texas and the middle of the country for everyone else. So you just feel for everybody, and you hope that it's not as crazy as they make it look. But everything so far that's been reported it has been rumored for a long time. There's nothing really that crazy other than the Trenton thing. Other than the Trenton thing, most things you've sort of heard so far.
So would Trenton have to drop down, like to maybe say like, and probably couldn't even go to single A. They'd have to go probably to triple A because of Lakewood being that close, like how Lakewood and Trenton were.
It doesn't even work like that, John. It works if you're 50 miles. So like, okay, if you're in Reading, no one could put an affiliated baseball team within 50 miles from us without our approval. So like the team in Lancaster who put it there didn't get approval from us, but they're not an affiliated team. So Trenton, because they're 50 miles from Somerset and them are probably not going to play nice. Somerset's going to say you absolutely can't have an affiliated team. We're going to invoke our rights for that. So then you really have no choice but a college would bat league or an independent team. College would bat. I mean, that's only like 30 games or something. That's not a great way to make a revenue. And you know, an independent league team, you got to pay for all those travel type things. So you're really cutting into your profit margins. There might be someone that buys a team just to say, I own a team in Trenton. But no one's going to really be buying a team to be profitable anymore. You're going to be buying a team to break even, or you don't mind losing a couple bucks every year.
Wow.
Everything's just getting more corporate. It is what it is.
Right.
I just feel bad for not only the people that work in the industry, but you know, sports management as a major is huge. I just did a shadowing thing with this kid from the college I went to, you know, because he's going to school for sports management 2 weeks ago. Albright College did a, question and answer session. I mean, these kids are dying for internships. They love sports. They want to do whatever it takes to, just like I was a few years ago. Now you're going to have all these kids coming out with degrees and there aren't many teams for them to work for. It's just, the whole situation is just, it's unfortunate. I wish both sides could have figured out a better way to do it is all.
Right. Something.
Yeah.
But there would be a big, announcement, probably a press release. And who knows what happens at that point. Like I said, coronavirus seems to have sped everything up a little bit. And because of it, everything's going under the radar. So it probably won't be as big as news as it normally would be.
Yep.
John, you were a big fan of going to Trenton because I know you took me along a few times and we had some good games up there in Trenton when Reading would come into town and whatnot. So that was a good time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of the right now I'll call them rumors, about all the upgrades that are going to have to be made by the teams, as far as additional buses and facilities and whatnot. Is AA and AAA ready to make that?
Today? No. Yeah. Today, no one. Including the new stadiums that were just built. New stadiums built in Connecticut, new stadiums being currently built for AAA teams in New England. They are currently, even with as undergoing brand new stadium right now, they are not in compliance. They want a team in AAA to have the same facilities as a team in AAA. And, that's going to be a process. And, it's not like Major League Baseball. We're all on TV and we make TV revenue. We rely on what's in the seats. So every time that you cut something from here, cut something from here, cut something from here, that goes into our profit.
Sure.
Pretty soon, the more you do that, we're not going to be able to be profitable. Now, from the Major League side, I don't know that they really care as much. I think they just want to have a place for those guys to play. They're not worried about our promotional schedule and how I'm going to sell billboards. They don't really care because they want guys to play somewhere. But if you're an owner, why do you own something if you can't make any money? So just like the rest of the world, I think there will be minor league baseball. I think it'll continue. It might not be a profitable thing. The three of us back in the day might have been able to put money together and try to get an ownership group and purchase a team. But those days are going to be gone because why would you want to go through all that work if you're going to break even or lose a couple bucks every year? Yeah. It's essentially a bunch of guys and gals that just say, I own a team. And that's all you get for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they get rid of some of these rules. I mean, nothing's set in stone yet. They're still negotiating. But, it's hard to negotiate when there isn't a minor league baseball right now to negotiate for you. We're not they're not affiliates anymore. They're licensees. So that essentially means that the major league team owns you theoretically, and you do what like a licensee for McDonald's or anything. So Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Not good.
Crazy. As like you said, as if the year wasn't crazy enough with the COVID and everything else going on in the business world. It's a shame because it affects everybody, and we've talked about it for the past several weeks. For the retired people that work part time, and the kids going to school trying to make a few extra bucks. It's just it's unfortunate, but I knew we were going to struggle to get everything in tonight, and I want to give that girl next to you a shake because she's up. She's up. This is your time, and you got a big event. So tell us all about it. Where you're at. I know you're working 24/7. Where you at with this? Give us some good news.
Sure. We have our annual art auction coming up. There'll be a live streamed show happening Saturday night at 7:00. I'll certainly share the link out for anyone that's interested in joining. It'll be an hour to an hour and a half show. Some of it's live, some of it's pre-recorded, but it'll be nicely done. Just kind of touching on Humane Pennsylvania, what we do as an organization. You'll hear from a few notable folks, some senators, some musicians, people all across the board who support the organization. So it'll be a really nice live show. It's basically like a night out at home. So here in Berks County, cases are continuing to rise kind of crazy. So I am glad that we decided to go in this direction. A lot of people wanted us to try to make this event work in person, and that just wasn't something we were able to do. So we've tried to put together a really nice program for everyone. All of our sponsors over the next 2 days are going to get like a package essentially delivered to their house full of wine and beer and cheese and bread and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully they enjoy that the night of the event while they're watching the live stream. And then of course bidding. So you've heard me talk now all about our auction and all the items we have, 104 items. The auction is doing really well. I've seen it pick up over the last few days. So I think folks are definitely gearing up for Saturday. So that's really great to see. There's something for everyone. So for those of you whose names I've seen on there bidding, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. If you haven't bid yet, you go to hpaartauction.givesmart.com and you'll be able to see all of our stuff there. I do believe there's something for everyone. I'm not just saying that because I run the event. It goes, minimum bids start at $15 all the way up to $500. So there's definitely something for every budget. And then all the money that's raised supports all the homeless animals that we get into our shelters, all the animals that are in our community whose owners need a little bit of assistance, maybe with vaccines and microchips and food. And it just supports the organization as a whole. So all the money that's raised goes to a good cause. So feel free to bid frequently, generously. And then Saturday night, we'll also be doing what we call a fund a need. And what that is for is a $2.1 million construction project that we are working on right now to rebuild our Reading shelter. We are looking to hopefully raise $15,000 that night specifically just through this fund a need. So that is completely separate from the items that you're bidding on. But we have different giving options. So there's a $2,000 option and there's a $1,000 option, and those can be spread out over the course of 3 years. So over the course of this year, my job was to go out and get corporate sponsors to give us $50,000, $100,000 for naming opportunities in the building. But that obviously can't happen when coronavirus hit and some of these companies didn't know if they were going to be able to afford their employees, let alone, an extra charitable giving. So the way that we've decided to try and fundraise this time is sort of like a grassroots concept. So folks like you and I might be able to easily pledge $1,000 over 3 years, which breaks out to about $28 a month. Or you can do $2,000 over 3 years, which breaks out to about $56 a month. So there's 2 different giving clubs. We'll be launching those Saturday night for the first time. And that money there will kind of help us get to the finish line on the money that's raised for that $2.1 million project. We need about $700,000 more dollars. And if we can get 700 people to sign up for the $2,000 club and 200 people to sign up for the $2,000 club, we can start chipping away at that amount. So that'll be something that's exclusive to Saturday night's event. You will see it on the page now. If you head to that Give Smart link, you'll see us talk about all that. You can place those donations now if you wanted to, but there'll be a nice video that accompanies that Saturday night that really gives you a full scope of what's going on. So tune in Saturday night, 7 o'clock for about an hour and a half. You'll see myself and my coworker, Chelsea, who I couldn't do this without, helping us get through the night, and it should be fun. So, and like I said, all the money raised supports the organization and all the stuff that we do.
So I know the building is coming along nicely. You guys have a soft opening planned, or where is that?
Yeah, so right now we're looking at hopefully no later than the end of January.
Okay.
We're delayed about 6 weeks in peak COVID season. So back in April and May, we were shut down for a while. We weren't considered an essential project, so we were not given a pass by the state to continue. So we did have to shut down for a little bit, but they've really done a lot. The construction itself is likely to be done probably middle to end of December. But then we need about a month or so to make sure that the cages are installed properly. We start to get animals into the building. Our staff know the new lay of the land because the building is completely different now. It's not any bigger. It's just much taller. It's now 2 full floors. All the kennels are enclosed. For anyone who has been to a shelter or is familiar with animal welfare, sometimes the animal has half indoor access, half outdoor access, which is fine. But that's kind of like an old school concept. So now the animal has access to an inside facility at all times. So the proper heating and air conditioning 24/7, depending on what they need. Because in Pennsylvania, it's really hot in the summers, really cold in the winters, and there's a few days in between where it's perfect. So if you're an animal in a shelter in the first place, you've got this drafty door that's either letting in really cold air or letting in really hot air. So that's one of the really nice upgrades that we've got for the shelter coming, is that all the animals will be enclosed all the time, to not be in the conditions like that. So yeah, hopefully by the end of January, the building will be up and running and fully functional to the public.
Nice. So you guys are pretty excited for Saturday night. You got all your beer and wine stocked up. I'm sure.
Once the event's over, I will certainly be indulging in that after this last month that we've had trying to get all this organized. Anthony doesn't know it yet, but he will also be part of the production team Saturday night at my office. We have about 4 to 5 laptops running at the same time to make this whole thing happen. So if you're looking for a little bit of a comedy routine, you should definitely tune in, because I really have no idea how this is going to go. We're trying to map it all out, but I'm sure there'll be a few bloopers along the way. So.
It'll be fine. You've done a great job so far, and we're there to help support along the way. Get the word out, and so it's Saturday night at what time again?
7 p.m. It'll be. Folks can actually use the same link that they've been using to bid, that hpaartauction.givesmart.com. There'll be a button on that page that says watch live stream. And at 7 o'clock, that will go live. If you click it now, it's just kind of a placeholder. The button is there if you want to just make sure you know where it's at. Then Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we'll go live.
Very cool. Very cool. So to all of our This Fans View folks and Carl's Cards, and I know we've been out there and we've been supporting, but if you guys can jump in, and if you can find, I know John mentioned it, if you can find a few bucks, dig deep, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm excited to be, partnered with you guys, and I got my fingers crossed that you can hit those numbers. So yeah, that's awesome. So back to Anthony for a second. So this is kind of like going to catch you off guard a little bit. But
All right.
how do you get roped into all this stuff?
Just do what you're told. It's easier that way. No, I mean,
How about all the stuff I get roped into?
no, yeah, obviously. So we do all that stuff. I mean, she helps me enough during the season. So I figured the one time that I've had some free time, but it's been a lot of fun. So I'm on the committee to help out with a lot of those things. So it's fun to bring in the packages and don't let me fool you. I'm probably
He's more obsessed with it than I am.
I love seeing the updates. I love auctions. I love bidding on stuff. I enjoy it.
Very cool. Very cool. You guys are a great team. So I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit, like the guy up in the corner usually does. So there you go.
He said I only have 9 minutes to talk about the Eagles. He wants to get going now.
We still got to talk fantasy football still yet.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
I mean, yeah. I guess we better hand it off to him, or somebody's going to get fired.
And one other comment too, Lauren. Your video is going to be perfect. You had a great teacher, so you'll be.
I did. I had the best teacher ever.
So you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But no, this week we had a successful week of fantasy football, but unfortunately not for us, the host. We didn't have a successful week. Mario's team got beat this week to drop his record.
Whose team?
Mario's.
Oh, right. That guy.
That's why he's not on the show tonight, because he dropped his.
That guy.
Yeah, he dropped his record down to 1-2. Not good.
Yeah.
But, it happens.
He couldn't face it tonight, right?
He couldn't. He was a little embarrassed, as he should be. But no, we had a great week. We had 42 players playing this week. We had Dalvin Cook was the high scorer back-to-back weeks. He helped Lauren and Anthony, even though Anthony picked the Dalvin Cook last week.
I love Dalvin Cook.
How many more team he plays for?
Come on, that's rude.
That's rude. And Dalvin Cook led the viewers there with a score of 38.2. Obviously, the viewers were noticing Anthony's pick last week, and 30 of them picked him this week, which was the highest that we've had picked the high scorer of the week. So we have a nice large pool in the raffle this week. This week is this just goes to show how big this show is getting with the podcast and this fantasy football game. The winner this week, Mark Vincelette, he wrote me and wants to be known. He wants to let everybody know he's watching live from the Western Massachusetts Museum of Philadelphia Sports, and he wants to be named. He even has a name for himself now. He's the Massachusetts Meteor. That's what he wants to go by. Right. So, the other viewers are going to have to step up their game too when they win the highest score to give us some their names for their show.
So if I'm not mistaken, he's a lawyer by trade. So he better put an LLC next to that name, so nobody steals that. So
exactly,
right?
Exactly. He was happy. That he won the highest score, and was trying to explain it to him. He had the high score this week of 243.08. Beat me out just by a couple points, which I wasn't too happy about. But it happens. But no, we had a good week, it was fun. Like I said, 30 people got on there as the high score, so that's good. This week we have another good matchup. You're playing me this week, so I'll be taking it a little bit more serious this week myself to get us host back up to 500 again. Since we dropped down below it at 4-5 for the season, we just can't get over that 500 mark consistently here. Thanks to Lauren and Anthony's score last week, we still have the point totals overall, but with their big score that they had last week.
You're welcome.
It helps it, and it was good. We just got to watch. We've got like 23, I think 23 or 24 voters already in so far. And everybody's waiting for the last minute, and I'll get the rest of them in, when I get home. So I'll be tallying more votes later on to get us back up to our 42-ish.
We don't need to have a recount or anything. These are all numbers are legit and everything. We're all good.
Well, my eyes do go across there every once in a while, but you just got to go with it. I'll try to find a couple points for myself because I was only like 8 or 9 points behind Mark from last week. So maybe
a lot of bad things happen in Philly. That's all I know.
That's right. That's true. That is true. So we have the 30 names were in the raffle. I'm not tagging everybody this week or anymore. Hopefully everybody will start getting onto the page and watching that way because unfortunately Facebook's not working real well with the tagging. But so I just messaged everybody the last minute to get their votes in. So hopefully, the more we keep playing this, you'll start watching. It's all pinned at the top of our page. So hopefully you'll start watching that and getting on there yourself and seeing it. We had about 18 people vote that way without being messaged. So I know some people like to wait to the last minute to get their votes in, just to watch in for, especially this year with injuries and that kind of stuff. It's grown. We're holding steady, which is great. I love seeing everybody's keep going with it, and they're having fun with it. So that's all.
So we got a prize. We got a prize to give away.
Yeah, we got this week that we're going to do the raffle with is we got the Bill Berge and Roman Gabriel autographed 8x10s given away by our sponsor there, Carl's Cards and Collectibles. And then this week's one for the matchup against me, we got the William Thomas 8x10. So we got we're trying to bring a little mojo with the defense for us to keep them down with the Willie T.
Okay.
So
all right.
So we got to hold the viewers back there this week. So we'll see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
So we got the 30 names in the generator here, and we'll spin it out.
Oh, that's very funny this week.
Number 3, Chris Ramble, one of the new players this week. He's the winner this week.
Very nice.
So congratulations to Chris. We'll get that out to him, and he'll get some comments, and hopefully he can contact the store or make arrangements to pick it up, or if we have to ship it out.
Yeah, he's a Delco legend. He'll be in to pick it up.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So
that's it for this week. So we got what do we got? We got a couple. What time do we give everybody till? Because you got about an hour ride home, so they can sneak.
Yeah,
in.
I mean, most of the ones that I've been a little lenient with them, let them get them all in. For the people that we, especially with the tagging issues going on.
Yep.
So I'll message them. They have, we try to cut it off at 8:00, but like I said, I won't be getting home till 9, a little after 9 or so, and then by the time I tally up all the rest of them, they'll have most of tonight, and I'll get it posted tomorrow. So,
all right. Well, good luck to everybody, and let's keep it growing because it's a fun thing. It's free, right?
Can't beat it.
Doesn't cost anything to play. But I want to kick this back to Lauren. We usually do takeaways. But I want to kick it back to Lauren to close out the show. Like I said, she's got a big event this week, and any closing comments, feel free to close out the show. I know you were busy earlier, and we dedicated the show to all our veterans. We certainly appreciate everything that we get from them. But I'm throwing it back to you to finish up the show. Any closing comments? It's all you. Take it away.
Well, I'm also going to give a shout out to Alex Trebek and his family. He passed away earlier this week. So a legend there. As John was doing his generator there, I started humming the Jeopardy song and realized that would have been very appropriate this week. So, our thoughts and prayers to his family as they deal with that. That was a very, very sad situation. But yes, anybody who's interested in participating in this art auction, if you're confused or you don't know how to register, you don't know how to bid, whatever the case might be, feel free to just send me a message, reach out to me, and I will certainly make sure that you are situated and ready to go. Feel free to let me know if you're running into any issues at all. Anything to add to that, sir?
No, I mean, even though it says art auction, like Lauren said, there's literally anything in there that not even art related. If you like art, that's great. There's a lot of local artists, but there's sports trips throughout the country, trips in general to other areas of the country. There's
Sports items
themselves, sign things. I mean, it's a really great auction. I mean, there's food gift certificates to restaurants. I mean, there's literally anything you could think of. So there's really not a reason not to, put a couple bucks in for something.
And even if not, like you said, you got the website was there. You could, just donate, monetarily in itself.
Yep.
Whether you can do it with the larger donations of the 1,000 or 2,000, or even if it's $5, for whomever, just to donate and get it in there.
Yep.
It helps out.
Positively.
Absolutely. So,
Guys, it's been real. I can't thank you enough for getting the word out for Humane Pennsylvania. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope it's a huge success and the numbers are over and above what you guys are thinking. And we can talk about it next week. You know what I mean? In a real positive sense, and see where you're heading next. So,
good.
all right, guys,
Sounds good.
it's been real. Have a great rest of your week.
Yep. Thank you, all the veterans out there.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
See ya.